Welcome to the Champagne Way,
a podcast devoted to living every day like a celebration. Alrighty, welcome to the Champagne Way, episode 34. I'm Trina.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Jess.
And what is in our cup this week, Lindsay?
Okay, guys. So, our cup is a little bit of some shushu momo. So, we did our bubbly bracket. Thank you, everyone, for putting their entries in. So, again, last year, our bubbly bracket that had to do with some basketball thing. So, we did like this whole bracket thing and we narrowed it down to the final four. And we did not vote on cutest players like people normally do. We voted on taste, flavor, presentation, and the ease of making it. So for your selections, you had to input a cocktail that involved some type of champagne, prosecco, or sparkling wine, and the ingredients had to be readily available. So thank you, everyone, for submitting.
Yes, thank you.
And our drink that we're drinking is the winner, and we're not going to tell you just yet because we're going to go through the final four.
That's right. But you should know it is quite delicious.
Yes, it's really good.
We've also drank a lot already.
Kind of.
Yes,
So
we
there's
sure
that.
have.
Yeah, thank you for helping us drink alcohol.
I don't even know if we need much more help, but you know what? The bubbly bracket's just like an excuse to drink more.
Yeah, I mean, it's our job.
Also, it was fun to go through and look at all the recipes and really see, oh, I want to try that. Oh, I want to try that. So this has been a fun little excursion for us. So I guess we should just dive right in.
Yeah.
What is our final four that we taste tested today?
Okay, so we're going to go in order that we tasted them. So the very first cocktail that we had is the champagne margarita.
This was so good.
So good. And I don't even like tequila that much.
But it was just so good.
So, super easy, guys. You throw 2 ounces of tequila, 4 ounces of some bubbly, and 1 ounce of lime juice, and 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, and you shake it in a shaker with some ice. You also salt the rim. I did half the rim, think margarita glass. Then you pour it into a champagne flute. You garnish it with a lemon twist.
This one was definitely one of my favorites. Clearly one of all of our favorites.
Yeah.
But definitely, I loved this one. I actually have never had a really horrible night on tequila, so I still love tequila. But this wasn't overly tequila-y. It was very, the champagne kind of added a nice mixture to it to make it where, between that and the lime juice, it tasted wonderful.
It was like a nice balance of sour and sweet.
Not overly sweet and sour that you get with a lot of margaritas.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of had a really good balance between that and the lime juice. It made it I like it better than a regular margarita.
Yeah, truly, I don't think I can ever go back to just a regular margarita.
No. And it's really great because at my house, we instituted Margarita Mondays last week. So this is going to have to be the big thing, especially during the Bachelorette season.
Oh, well.
I think that needs to be a thing regardless for our entire summer break. As if we get a summer break. But I think that Margarita Mondays for us during the summer should be our summer break.
So, or just our adult life.
Our adult life. Yes.
Yeah.
All of that.
Okay. So we did 3 different categories of voting, guys. So on our flavor of the champagne margarita, we gave it a 7.5.
Yes.
All right. And the ease of making it, we gave it an 8. Only because the simple syrup, you do have to cook that or buy it. But we cooked it. Super easy to make, but still takes a little bit of extra time. And then the presentation, we gave it a 9.
Yeah, the presentation was great. Especially a little bit of salt on the rim and drinking it out of a champagne glass. I love that.
Right. And the little lemon twirl, the lemon meringue twirl. So that got a total of 24.5 out of 30.
Yes. Well deserved.
Yeah. So we, definitely try that champagne margarita. Okay. So the next submission that got in our top 4 was the Chambéry.
The Chambéry.
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 Yeah.
So this was 1.5 ounces of gin, 3/4 of Chambord muddled berries. You shake that in a shaker, pour it in a flute, and then you top it with bubbly, and it will explode.
It sure will. I guess anytime you have something like a berry or anything like that and you pour champagne on top of it, it just does the like waterfall effect and it just goes right over.
And if you're wanting to do that, this is how you do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
So it's good. It's probably one of the sweetest drink that we had in the bracket for. And it's very good. So you can use fresh strawberries or fresh berries of any kind. We use frozen because that's what we had. And so that it worked great.
Yeah, frozen strawberries to be exact. And then Jess muddled them up together. It was actually really, really good. Between the strawberries and the Chambord, it created a very, very nice fruity flavor to it. Like Lindsay mentioned, it was a little bit sweeter. But it actually still a very good springtime drink. Perfect for, if you're wanting like a pink kind of drink, because it changed the color, of course, a little bit. And it would be great for like a shower or any kind of like a social event like that when you're wanting to go with more of that fruity kind of flavor and vibe.
Right. And the flavor is probably going to change a little bit depending on what kind of berry that you're using. If you use a blackberry or a raspberry, the flavor is going to change a little bit, but it's still going to be on the sweeter side. And then we used a drier brute, sparkle. So definitely you don't want to use a sweeter sparkling wine or champagne with this unless you want a really sweet drink. But that Chambord and the berry is going to add the sweetness that you need for this.
Yeah, and you definitely want to muddle your fruit and you want to mix it in the shaker with that Chambord because they're going to attach and give that cocktail some really great flavor.
Yes. So what was our scores on that, Lindsay?
Okay, so for the flavor, we gave it a 7.
Yeah, it had a really good fruity flavor to it.
Great. The ease, we gave it a 5 just because muddling can get a little kind of intense, but we actually had a makeshift muddling, or Jess did. If you want to talk about that, Jess.
So I mean, if you have like a mortar and pestle or a muddling thing, then that's going to be really easy for you. We didn't have that available, so we just took a little short glass and a spoon, and we actually had to use frozen berries. So that is, ease of ingredient. If you don't have any berries or fresh berries available, we did have to take the frozen strawberries and kind of thaw them out and get some of the moisture out. You don't want them to be really wet. You want to kind of like pat them dry with a paper towel, and then put them in the glass. And I just took a spoon and kind of mashed them together until they were in kind of like a berry paste. And then I added them to the shaker.
And can we talk about how I went through Trina's cabinets and thought she had a muddling pot and it was a salsa cup?
It was definitely like a salsa dish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have anything to muddle with at my house other than glass and silverware. But that's the thing. Like, we made it work. And that's, I think, a good lesson for everyone is like you can make it work regardless if you have
you don't have to have
all
a
the
little
tools.
bar kit.
Yeah.
Right.
So for the presentation, we did give it a 6.5, only because anytime you have anything with fresh fruit or frozen fruit in it, it's going to leave that weird like rim thing around the glass.
It's kind of like a film of like the ingredients a little bit, which makes it looks pretty when you first pour it, but as you drink it down, it creates that film that pulls all the way down. So it's not as pretty to look at, and it's definitely, as you fill your glass, like it's gonna keep mixing back in and everything. It still tastes perfectly fine. It's amazing, but as far as presentation, doesn't look as well.
Yep. So if you add all this together, that's a 20 out of 30.
Yep.
All right, so our next drink is the Twinkle.
If you think that sounds familiar, we actually featured it on our last episode, on episode 33. I kind of described it as it would be the perfect drink to describe both Lindsay and Jess.
Oh,
yes. They're both the twinkle in my eye.
We're twinkles in each other's eyes.
Love it.
So that's again, we talked about this last episode. So you get a shot and a half of vodka and you get 3/4 of ounces of Saint Germain. You shake it for at least 10 seconds, get it good and cold, and then before you pour it in a glass, you get your flute and you rim your flute in either sugar or glitter. Gold glitter sugar.
Edible glitter.
Sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, not.
I mean, I guess it doesn't have to
don't
be
drink regular glitter.
eat glitter. No. So yeah, edible glitter, which you can get like at any craft store. And then once you do that, you pour the vodka and the Saint Germain, which is the elderflower liquor, into the flute, and then you top it off with champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This one was a light, crisp, kind of has, I don't know. To me, it has a little bit of an appley flavor to it, I guess, in a way. That's the best kind of description I have it. It's, again, light, crisp, very delicious. Loved the presentation of it. Presentation was just super nice and clean looking. I loved the little rim of the gold sugar.
Which is what we used. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's very just airy.
Yeah. It's a good drink this anytime kind of drink. It's very easy to put together. It was definitely a good one.
Like if you're gonna get up and just start drinking, this is the drink you start with.
And you need a cocktail that's not too sweet or
You
not
get
too
up
over
at
the top.
7, you have your coffee, and then by 7:30 you start drinking. This is like the first drink, I feel like.
That's right. No, I mean, and you all know that we're pretty much champagne purists. We kind of like just the champagne by itself. But if you do like to every once in a while, like have a cocktail, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want it to be overly sweet. This is your good, happy medium there.
You know what? That's what I like. It doesn't overpower the champagne.
I think I like the fact that you pour the champagne on top of it as opposed to blending it all together.
The champagne
that I think
float.
helps. Yeah.
Champagne float. So how did we score this one?
Okay, so on flavor, we gave it 8.5. It's definitely yummy. On the ease, we gave it a 9.
It was very easy.
Yeah, you just
Very.
have to shake it. That's the big thing. You just have to do the shaker. And then on presentation, we gave it a number 9 because that glitter just makes a little something, something.
And it's very just pure and golden looking in the glass.
Yeah. Even if you don't have the glitter, it still just makes for a great drink. Yeah.
And you can use just a regular sugar rim if you do want a little something frou-frou on your little cocktail. But all in all, that totals to 26.5 out of 30.
Awesome.
All right, so our number 4 cocktail that made it to the final 4 is our Manmosa Champagne Way style.
Yes, yes. I loved this one. This one was a great little addition to the top 4.
Oh, yeah, I love it. So we've had this before, but probably a little different, maybe a little different measurements. But you guys, super easy. Half of the glass is champagne.
Duh.
Right there.
Yeah. And then the other half is split between amaretto and OJ. But not like the Simpson, like the orange juice.
And you can even play with that a little bit. If you like a little bit more OJ, you like a little more amaretto, you can kind of play with those. Amaretto has a very strong, distinct flavor. So for me, I would probably go a little less amaretto, a little bit more OJ, or just even a little bit more champagne overall. But that's what's great about this one is that there's no necessary exact measurements. You can really play with it to see what you like.
And if you've watched our video, you can really tell, like, it does not have any type of set ingredient amounts. Like, I like the taste of amaretto. Like, I can drink it by itself. Like the DiGiorno. Did I say that right?
I think that's a pizza.
That's a pizza.
No, that's DiGiorno.
No, that's a pizza.
You mean Di Serono?
DiGiorno on the rocks. I could drink that by itself. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, but you know, OJ, and I don't like a lot of OJ. It has a lot of acid in it. It gives me indigestion. So I just want like a splash. Or maybe like my champagne bottle just to face the OJ when I drink it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it just kind of is being like, hey, neighbor, what's up?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not a big OJ fan. But
This
but
one
I
was-
do.
I was gonna say this one was very popular when we did our Champagne Friday event last
Yes.
summer. We brought out the amaretto and the orange juice for this, and it ended up being one of the most popular drinks at that event.
It's really delicious. And you wouldn't think so just looking at it. So for scoring our flavor, we gave it a 9.
It's very flavorful.
Pretty delicious.
Like if you want to dress up your typical mimosa, just go to the bar and ask them for a shot of amaretto and just like pass it around the table, drop a little bit in your drinks. It's so good.
The ease, we gave it a 10.
Because it was so easy.
Yeah. You don't have to do the mixers and the measuring. You just pour it in.
However you're feeling.
I feel
Yeah.
like we need to sing It's Easy Like Sunday Morning right now.
It's like Sunday morning.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. All right, so presentation, we did give it a 5. because as you know, amaretto is brown.
And you mix that with orange juice and champagne, and it just kind of looks like you have a spoiled mimosa.
Womp womp.
Well, it tastes amazing.
It does.
But it looks a little funky.
So if you add all that together, that got a 24 out of 30.
Alrighty.
So
So
what's in our cup?
our cups have the
Twinkle! Yes, that's right. So we've got vodka, we've got Saint Germain, the elderflower liqueur, and bubbly with the gold glitter rim. Winner, chicken dinner.
That is correct. And second runner-up was the
Champagne margarita
which we will be drinking every Monday going forward.
from now on
And I
to
can't-
eternity.
And I can't wait to try that out frozen.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. I was to say, and third up, every Sunday morning we will be having a.
Manmosa champagne way style.
That's right.
That is correct. And I honestly think our fourth one would be good frozen style. Actually, now that you mentioned
Ooh.
that.
Yeah.
So what would
the
that be?
Chambéry.
The Chambéry for all our upcoming showers and birthday party celebrations. We're going to be making the Chambéry.
It's
Yep.
perfect for that.
So these are all 4 delicious. Again, thank you for submitting your entries for our cocktails and helping us get drunk on this Sunday morning.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
We appreciate it.
We are going to be posting videos of us as we made all of these and tried all of these. So pay attention to our Instagram at The Champagne Way and check out these videos.
They'll eventually get uploaded, right, Trina?
They will.
I know we have
I might be a
some
little behind on that.
listeners asking about the Chicago video.
I know.
She got
Work, life.
We'll hear about it in the drink about it segment, but Trina's been off lollygagging, partying every single night
I
at
have.
this Tin Pan South thing where they hit like pie pans together.
That's
is that what
exactly it.
happens?
Actually, you have a better description for it than what my mom does because every time she's like, "Tin pan, are you playing with pans?"
Well, yeah,
No, that's that. No, I've talked to you about this for years, but no.
that's what I think you do. Anyway,
All right. So,
y'all. So everyone knows, all the listeners know, I'm from a really small town,
yes, can you please say that town name for us because I just love the way you say it.
Me too.
Waynesboro.
Waynesboro.
Tennessee, y'all. It is on the Alabama state line. It's still Middle Tennessee. But, you know, in smaller towns, and I think this goes across the country, like this, some of the smaller stuff that happens gets made real big because there's not a ton of crime like we see in the bigger cities.
Yeah.
So the town has been in an uproar.
Uh-oh.
Because
Small town scandal?
Yeah, small town scandal. So someone or somebody's have vandalized the cemetery.
What do you mean?
So they have pushed gravestones down. They have spray painted a bunch of stuff and just desecrated it.
Oh, no.
And-
That's not really cool because that stuff is, one, very expensive for the
It is.
families that have to pay for it. And then that's just
It's
kind of
disrespectful.
weird and creepy, too. Like, why are you going into a cemetery, I assume, at night?
Right.
And desecrating gravestones? Like, first of all, do you not think you're going to get haunted?
Right. So my first thought when I heard about it is like, I hope whoever did this gets haunted by those people.
True story.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about ghosts and hauntings. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly, hello, I learned that stuff really does exist.
It does.
does.
You had a haunting.
I
We
had
talked
a
about it.
haunting. So hello, that's a real thing.
And also, like, the cemeteries are places that people go to mourn and to talk to whoever they have lost, and that it's just disrespectful.
Yeah. Again, like the whole cost to fix that, like, do you have to replace the whole tombstone? Because that's very expensive.
And they weren't broken, but like
You
those
gotta-
are really heavy.
And you got to like clean stuff off. Like that takes some like arm
lot of
work.
effort.
Yeah, and effort.
Yeah. So, you know, the whole town's been in an uproar for a week.
Okay.
So yesterday I get a text message from my sister,
Uh-oh.
and she said, "Hey, like, is your husband available?" My husband's a defense attorney, so he does a lot of criminal law. Is he available? We just found out that my husband's son, which is my stepson, got arrested for this crime.
So
Okay.
you got like a
snap.
step nephew who's a little bit of a hoodlum.
Yeah. And he's 19.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So we like called my brother-in-law. He's on speakerphone. My husband's trying to talk to him to try to figure out like what he's charged with. It's like a couple vandalisms, a couple desecramentations of something.
I mean, as one is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But his bond is set at $150,000.
Wow. That's a bit high for a small town.
Right.
And also just would this be a misdemeanor? Like,
So they're e-felonies, most of them.
okay.
So you're looking at about $10,000 here and there, is what the usual bond is. But the bond is not a punishment.
Right.
Bond is to ensure that you come back to court, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are people who commit murder, allegedly, who get a lower bond than that.
I was like, that's a very high bond because, like, so they are kind of using it as a punishment to like keep him in jail, right?
Right. So that was a little excessive as what, like, I was listening to, and my husband was like, "Are you serious? Like, who died? Oh, they're already dead." Okay, sorry,
But
that
still.
was too much.
But still.
Yeah. So that was excessive. And
You're right, though. It's a vandalism charge. It's despite what he vandalized, it's a vandalism charge, not the same as a murder charge or an attempted murder
Right.
charge or a rape charge. He damaged some things.
And it's horrible. And I don't know what evidence they have against him. I don't know if he confessed. I don't know if they have video. I don't know like what role he played in this. But he's 19. He doesn't have a record.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah. So it's interesting. So, my husband was like, I cannot believe his bond is that high. He just like went on and on and on about it. And in my hometown, it's just a different life.
So,
like,
yeah. So is this like the biggest scandal crime that's happened in a while?
In a while, probably in a year or two. So I was telling my husband, I'm like, he's like, if, because I told my husband, I was like, you can't go represent him. You're not from there. So they'll take it out on him. Like if a Nashville attorney comes down to this little town in Tennessee, 2 hours away, they're going to home cook him. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, my brother-in-law, he realized that. He just wanted to kind of see what
course of action to take.
Yeah. So, and my husband's like, yeah, no, I get that. And so my sister had a custody battle years ago, and it was in front of a judge, and it was before I was an attorney. And I just remember the judge saying, I do not care what the law says.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right.
Yeah. And so that was appealed, and the Court of Appeals held the decision of the court.
Oh my God. So I think that we need to start a little podcast about your hometown. Let's go into the crime podcast world. Let's drink some champagne and interview some people about small town crime in Waynesboro.
That's some crazy stuff happens there for sure. So there's all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll have to keep you guys updated.
Please do.
Because this is really bad, but it's not like $150,000 bond back. Like, yeah, he should have to do some community service and pay some restitution and really make some apologies. But it's like, don't spend forever in prison because of it.
Well, being in prison for a long period of time doesn't solve the issue. Like getting him out there and making him scrub every single gravestone in the entire place. Not even the ones just that he like vandalized, but every single one. Make him like garden that cemetery for the next 5 years. That's a punishment that's like building character. That's more worthy than like, hey, we're gonna like force you to sit in jail and think about what you did. That's not gonna solve any problems.
if he indeed did this, he has to atone.
Right.
And so anyway, that it's going to be an interesting thing to kind of watch from afar. Mm-hmm. And I'm like telling my husband, I was like, if he were my child, I would leave him in jail forever. And he's like, but it would be different if it was your child.
It would be.
Like,
well, and
you're right.
Yeah. And I think sometimes living in a larger city, I just have no clue about what happens in smaller towns.
Right. And I mean, I am an attorney and I see a lot of crime, but I see it on the very extreme end. So, this stuff wouldn't be a big deal to me, but in a smaller town, I could see how it would be because they don't deal with the very crazy crimes over and over and over again.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. But like most of my like small crime experiences come from a lot of these like small crime, like shouldn't say small crime, big crime podcasts.
Yeah.
But that have been focused around small towns who don't usually have the proper systems in place to address a big crime happening in a small town. And I wouldn't even honestly justify or like I feel okay calling this a big crime. It's still like a moderate level crime. Like, he did something wrong, but again, this is allegedly did something wrong. Like that's just, but still, like I don't know.
Right.
Very, very interesting in that regard. Like to think about like both sides. Like you want to see the person get punished for doing something wrong if they did it wrong, but like at the same time, but you don't want them to be taken advantage of.
If they didn't hurt anyone, you want to make sure they learn from what they did and can move on and learn in a constructive, positive way.
So I have a lesser version of this, but a fun story for us regarding this.
I'm ready.
Okay. So small town.
Yes.
Producer Marshall.
I know him.
And
we know him.
So producer Marshall got in trouble in his very, very, very small town in Georgia.
Was he a John?
One stoplight in his town. He was not a John.
Do you know what that is?
Yes. He was not that.
For those who don't know, those are the men that pick up prostitutes.
I can't wait till he like listens to this later and is like, oh my God, what are you saying? No, he knows this story though, because I've heard it 7 times from him and his mother.
Oh yeah.
But
his mother knows.
He and some friends got a hold of some spray paint and they went down to this like abandoned building over by the tracks, and in Marshall's case, he very specifically vandalized one thing.
Oh my God.
Yellow spray paint.
Okay.
And he spray painted a toilet seat yellow. I'm not kidding you. Like, it's total juvenile.
That's a big deal.
Total big deal. But it was vandalizing. And so then they left. They go home. The cops, I guess, like catch them or something like that, or show up at his house.
How did they know it was them?
It was because when they went and bought the spray paint, again, small town, the person that sold them the spray paint called and told one of their parents to be like, hey, why are they buying spray paint? Did you send them to buy the spray paint, or did they just come to buy the spray paint to do something?
The store owner called their parents about spray paint.
Small town, Jess. You grew up in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff.
So, small town, they called the parents and was like, hey, so your kids just came in for spray paint. Did you send them to do this? And they were like, no. So what are they spray painting? Because, I mean, it's really quick for a parent to be like, wait a minute. So anyways, they get caught essentially, and the cop shows up at his house, and his mom basically like plays along with the whole thing and is basically like, take him to jail. Take him to jail. He's in trouble. This is what happens when you vandalize things. I think it scared the vandal out of Marshall really quickly. So producer Marshall has never vandalized anything, and he also, I think secretly, that's probably why he hates it when I bring up spray paint. I think it's also because he hates that spray paint leaves a mess, and he thinks I do it wrong every time. But I think it's more deep-seated, and he knows what spray paint leads to. Potential jail time.
Yeah. Marshall, think about that.
Oh, my Lord. So that was obviously vandalism on a much smaller scale than a cemetery, but it was handled in a different way.
Well, and I love the fact that like the parents kind of got in on it and was just like, no, haul him off to jail. Like teach him a lesson. Like let it happen. And of course the kids are like, Mom, no. You know, mommy. But like I think it was putting the good kind of fear in the child. Like here's the consequence to your action without there necessarily actually being a consequence other than like go clean it up and don't ever do it again. But obviously he never went and did anything like that again. And it also didn't make him so bitter against the judicial system.
Well,
like I'm just
good
saying,
job, Mom.
There's ways to sometimes handle this kind of stuff.
But whereas in a larger town, if like, you know, when I was in high school, if some kids went off and bought some spray paint to vandalize the bridge right by my high school, which is what many kids did. I never did this, promise. But whereas, I mean, that's, you know, just the bridge where people drove under, but like kids would go buy spray paint and for their senior or whatever, they'd spray paint stuff. I mean, people would have no idea like who their parents were. I mean, like, what? No idea.
It's a big town.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a question to ask you guys.
What's that?
So in high school, what is the dumbest thing you ever did?
Oh God. Ugh. Dumbest thing I ever did in high school.
Yeah,
But there's so many.
I know there's a lot.
Well, honestly, I mean, I can't think of anything super dumb. Like, if I were to really think about it, I can think of like levels of dumb and embarrassing, just dumb. Like, I don't know, like dumb and got in trouble. Like, there's so many.
So I had an event with the FBI.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, what?
So I was in a group called Odyssey of the Mind.
Mm-hmm.
And this was where they picked the smartest kids to be a part of this group. So like the people in the special classes that were like smarter than everyone else. I was not a part of that. They just need extra people. And somehow I got recruited to be in this group. And you go and you travel to these different competitions and you have to put on a play, but you have to have like all this, like you have to use bubble wrap or I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff that you have to do. Anyway, so I was in this for a couple years, right? And it was always in Clarksville, the first tier of competitions.
Uh-huh.
And then it was always in the spring. So we would drive to MTSU because our high school team would always be playing in the championships at MTSU, the basketball team. So we were in this van, like a person's van, and we thought it would be hilarious that we would write on a piece of paper, "Help, I've been kidnapped," and put it in the window.
Oh no.
No, you didn't.
I feel like I've seen this in a TV show or movie one time and it never ends well.
Yeah, so we did that, and it's before cell phones. And so we get to the MTSU basketball auditorium, and all of a sudden, like, these people that are not in police uniforms, they're plainclothes, they swarm us. And they take us into a questioning room, and they question us about who we're with and if we were kidnapped, and ask us like all these questions.
Wow. Oh my God. Y'all
Yeah.
horrible children.
I know. And I would just like to say the two people that I were with were in the smart class. I was not.
Did they blame it on you?
No. We were just like, we all like, we thought it, like, we didn't think about, I mean, then kids don't think about this will be funny.
Consequences. It's just more like,
Right.
it's funny.
Yeah. And so, but you know, they acted fast and were able to figure out the situation.
They were able to figure out it was a joke pretty quickly.
My mom has never laughed so hard to this day.
I mean, that is pretty good. At least she can laugh at it. I like Jess's face where she's just like still in shock over it.
She's like, I have a podcast with you?
Who called the FBI or the TBI that quickly without a cell phone?
I mean, somebody that pulled over and, you know,
They go to the payphone?
is between Clarksville and Murfreesboro. And so they had plenty of time to call, and then they probably had the tag number. So they probably tracked the tag number down. And this was in the 90s.
I guess y'all were in a van, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very suspicious.
That is suspicious. But you were on a bus, it could be different.
No, we were in my friend's van, and she had 4 kids. So she already has like the state of the art van with the TV and the DVD player that you're like, man, I wish you were my mom.
So they definitely thought you were legit kidnapped.
yeah.
Like, I would think that too. Like, if I saw that and you were in like a van, not like a bus, I would definitely be like, no, those kids are 100% kidnapped right now.
And I want to say at one point, like, we put the sign to the window, the back window, and we're like pointing to it, smiling.
You were
Oh my
smiling?
God.
Probably.
Well, I never did anything like that. I do remember at one point when I was in high school, this is not anything to do with my high school itself, but I was in high school and I had a fake ID.
Oh,
This
in
is
high school?
Yes, and this is no surprise to like my family because they all knew about it, as you're going to hear in this story.
Okay.
But I got it because I had a lot of friends that were older than me. And now keep in mind, like, this wasn't like a fake ID that I had when I was in high school that made it where I could drink and I was 21 years old. This was a fake ID so that I could be 18 years old to go to clubs with my friends that were 18 or older. Okay. Now, young Trina was thinking, I just want to dance. Okay. I just want to dance. But in the grand scheme of all of it, I could see where obviously it's still a fake ID, so it's still a federal offense to have a fake ID. You know. So I went to visit my dad for Thanksgiving. You know, he's a corrections officer. He spent 20 years in the military. He's a little more by the book. Hi, Dad. I know you're probably listening. And I just remember the fact that I apparently left it in the back pocket of a pair of pants and left it there. And I get a phone call. I'm glad I was at least back down south with at the time, like, my dad lived in North Florida and we lived in Central Florida. I'm glad I at least made it back home because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been able to walk for a week because he would have tanned my hide, as he would put it. But he called me and I just remember him like answering the phone and him going like, I can't remember what the fake name was on it, but my first name was the same and the last name was different.
Okay.
So it was something like Trina Jenkins or something like that from like New Jersey. Okay. Like it was something along those lines. And my dad answers the phone or when I answer the phone, he goes, I'd like to speak to Trina Jenkins of New Jersey. And I just like got really silent, kind of like,
please tell me you answered with a New Jersey accent.
You should have.
Like, there's no way to hide the fact that he knows I'm clearly in trouble. And, oh my God, what is going to happen to me now? So, yeah, about that. Sorry, Dad.
Your daughter is a juvenile delinquent.
I was a delinquent at that point in time. Yes. No, I mean, I really did. That's the worst excuse in the world is that I just wanted to go dancing, guys.
So I had a fake ID too, but in college, saying I was 21. It was my military ID because my dad was in the military, and it was the easiest ID to change. And I did that, and then my freaking friends knew a cop at the bar, and they're like, "Oh, go freak her out." And that cop did freak me out, but then he was really going to arrest me, and then he was really going to take my ID card, and I was like, "I need that for like medical purposes, like." I won't drink, I promise. Like, anyway, it ended up being a horrific experience, and it was not funny how my friends intended. So, thanks, friends of, I don't even remember who.
You're the worst.
You're the worst.
You're the worst. That's not nice at all.
No. I did some drinking at my parents' house in high school, like twice.
Did they know?
No, they were, once was on the 4th of July and they were asleep upstairs and it was my two friends, Brett and Brittany. And we were just downstairs being responsible. And then once they were out of town and I had people over and it was fine. I mean, my mom probably knows now. Hi, Mom. Sorry.
You sold the house. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But then I didn't use a fake ID until college when I went with some of our sorority sisters on a weekend trip to Auburn.
Ooh.
Oh, I've heard all about that trip.
I have not heard a thing. Tell me everything.
I don't know where they got this ID from. I don't know what, but it was apparently someone's ID who was a swimmer on the Auburn swim team.
Okay.
I don't know what her name was. I don't know how this got me into the bar. I'm sure the bartender or the bouncer just did not care.
Probably not.
So you're probably like 20 at this point in time. Like barely under 21.
I was 19.
Oh, you were 19.
I was 19. But
well versed in drinking.
Yes.
I'm in college. Come on now.
And it was an Auburn football weekend, but we didn't have tickets to the game, but we were just going to go out for the football weekend. And someone had just given me this swimmer Auburn girls ID. And I was like, I was already drunk. And I just handed it over to the bouncer and he just let me walk right in. And I was like, okay.
You're good.
And I went right in and I was already wasted. And I just know that an ESPN cameraman bought me a Jack Daniels and Diet Coke. And that I was so drunk, I spilled it all over him.
Oh, fun time for college.
So I did. Okay. So that reminds me of a story. So I lost my ID in college, like after I was 21, as you do when you drink a lot. And, like a year or two later, I get a phone call from my friend who bartends at a bar. And he's like, hey, like, did you give a girl, I think he bartended at Chili's. It wasn't even a bar. It was a restaurant. Do you know her? Did you give her your ID? And I'm like, no, I lost that ID. He's like, well, this girl is using your ID. I'm like,
wow.
He's like, I mean, I just didn't know if I should bust her or not. I'm like, well, you do what you do. I lost that ID. But I think he like let her use it. I was like, whatevs.
That's hilarious though, because you never really hear about that. A lot of times people do use just random lost IDs, or like so and so's friends of a friend of a sister of a.
And I guess that's what my Auburn swimming ID was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just got to borrow it for the weekend. I don't know how I attained it. I used it that one night. I have no idea. I don't even remember what her name was.
See, I got lucky because my sister Nina, when she turned 21, I had a copy of her ID that I can't remember. Like she gave it to me or something because she had moved to a different state and needed to change her ID. So of course, when she moved to the new state, she was just kind of like. Because around this age, she just kind of moved around a lot at that time. And so she moved. She let me keep her Florida license, I believe. And so I was able to use that when I turned 20 and she was 21 at the time. I was able to use that for a short bit of time. And Dad, if you don't know about that, sorry about that. Nina was an accomplice, 100%.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in college, and at least then it wasn't a full fake. It was me just taking a fake, you know?
You know, she had to start drinking so she could get ready for this podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was a very responsible drinking college student. I'm just
You've
saying.
always been.
I've always been
except for that
responsible
Clarksville
drinking.
trip.
You know, except for that. Otherwise, you know, I've been very responsible. My dad's going to totally listen to this and be like,
it's
Trina.
So what we're saying is
We're alive.
We all had some younger indiscretions, and
As you do.
as one does.
I'm just trying to picture now, like thinking about all of that and all the things we've just admitted to and the idea of living in a small town.
Yes.
And like, how would we feel if the system like targeted us in a way where it was just like to make an example of us?
Yeah.
Like that's hard to think about.
It is. And that's what happens, because that is when you don't have murder after murder after murder happening in your town, but then you have something like this. It's the first thing in months that's serious besides meth and whatever. You know, like it's interesting.
Meth vandalism. I feel like one of those should be.
I mean, is that like making like an example of someone?
Could be.
or an example of a situation? I bet.
Yeah.
You know?
Example of I mean, it is. It's pretty awful if you think about it, but when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, is it the worst thing you could ever do?
No.
It's a property offense at the end of the day, as much as you would like to think it's not.
Yeah, that's true. True. Again, I'm all for make the whoever is charged with it, make them go through there, scrub all that stuff down.
Community service.
Go even a step further and make them like plant gardens around it, exchange the plants every week at
Make
every
them
gravestone.
exhume the bodies and put makeup on them and make them
I'm
look
not going
presentable.
that far.
We're not doing that.
That's one step too far. You're like that's
okay.
the habitual line stepping thing. You know,
That's the ghoulishness that you
and Marshall
roll
are going
for.
to be in that like category. You are both habitual line steppers.
Emma, is that my name? Habitual line stepper.
Yes.
Marshall's owned that for pretty like a while, but I
okay.
feel like you're a contender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we should put you two in a face-off and see who can step over the line more often.
Lindsay, I wish you'd been in the hotel room at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my God, me too.
When those ghost
I
children
would have
showed
played
up.
with those kids.
She would
I
have.
have baby fever so bad right now. I would have like went out there and like played with them.
But ghost children, baby
Yeah.
fever and ghost children. What if you had a possessed baby inside of you all of a sudden?
Oh my God, can we put that in me?
No.
Habitual line stepper. Habitual line stepper.
You want a possessed baby?
Right
no.
here. Okay. Right
I
here.
am obsessed with ghost stories and all things haunted related, and I've never had like an experience. Although
Okay.
my psychic told me that I had like the feel, the touch. Like I had that ability.
So maybe we should just start a tour of going to a bunch of the most haunted places in the world. Like, let's plan a trip to Savannah and go like to all the haunted places.
Next weekend, we will go to Savannah.
That's what we need to do. We need to
Okay.
plan some Champagne Way trips where we get drunk on champagne and go see if Lindsay can get touched by a ghost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me say, look and listen. Are you guys sure you did not knock on that door?
I swear Trina was knocked out snoring.
Dude, I was on the floor, like no lie, asleep at like 9:30, and then I woke up again at 11, climbed up onto the bed when it pulled out, and like went to sleep. Because we got up early the next day and drove all the way back to Nashville.
We did not.
We were serious when we said we wish that was us because that would have been hilarious, but we also wouldn't have left without you knowing it was us.
Okay.
Like 100%.
I promise.
Because one, we would have had to be drunk to do it,
Yeah.
probably. Because I don't think sober us would just like show up at your house, or not your house, your hotel at 3 a.m. and like knock on the door. But if 3 a.m. drunk us did do that, we would do it so many times and be giggling until you caught us.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
And we
Like-
would have eventually been like, it was us. Like,
it happened
again,
twice.
Habitual
Yeah.
line stepper. Both of us would have been over the line
Yeah.
that night and been like, knock, knock.
no, you definitely had a haunting.
It happened.
definitely
It
had a haunting.
happened twice. It was no one in the hallway. Because you know how you can tell if someone's in the hallway trying to be drunk and find their room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I 100% like think that you would have figured it out if it was us, and we would have owned up to it by now because we kind of wish it would have been us.
And you know how sometimes you get really cold in the room where there's ghosts? We were so flaming hot.
I feel like that's like the creepy thing
That's
about it
a
because of the
demonic
fact-
spirit.
like you do always hear coldness, but the fact that you keep saying it, you were so hot,
We were
like,
so-
it makes
so-
me creeped out a little
I
bit.
feel like that's a demonic spirit. And you know, the demonic spirits usually take the children's essence. So you are fooled.
Well,
So it was probably a demon.
it was scary. Well, and you know,
Are you possessed? Do we have holy water? I want to sprinkle holy water.
Here's
on
water. No,
her. Hold on. I'm going to just do the champagne. I bless the champagne.
it's flashing on.
Is she burning? Is her skin melting off?
She is legit just tried to. She just spilled champagne across our house and
Okay.
across Jess.
It was a little bit on my hand.
Oh, it's on the chair and the floor, dude.
Okay, but we thought our friend was had a demonic entity in her.
I'm not demonly possessed. I did read, they talked about on the last episode watching 1408. I did read the short story 1408, which reading Stephen King creeps me out more than probably even watching
Yeah.
him. So I read that last week, which thank God I didn't read it before I went to the hotel. It was terrifying because apparently his short story 1408 was based on the Congress Plaza Hotel, which is where we stayed in Chicago, and it was a terrifying short story.
But you still haven't watched it yet, right?
I haven't watched it yet.
We
but
watched
I read
it last weekend.
Okay, well, I will say this. So the only version that you can find out there, in case any of our listeners want to go watch it based off of our previous episode and this one, 1408 is on Amazon Prime for free, and it's also on, like, at least for Comcast, it's on demand for free. But the ending is different from the original movie release that they released to the theaters, and that's usually on DVD. So the one that they put on demand and Prime Video is the director's cut ending, which is completely different from the ending that I knew that traumatized me for all of these years.
Yeah.
So if you get to the end of the movie, like you need to go online and look on YouTube for the original ending.
Well, I
because the
say
original
boo.
ending is way creepier, in my opinion, than the director's cut. And I know
Yeah.
director's cuts are usually better. In this case, I don't think so. Like 100% go online, watch the YouTube version, like the original ending that was in theaters, the theatrical version, not the director's cut, because they are completely different.
Well, and if you want to read and be creeped out, let me recommend Stephen King's short story collection, Everything's Eventual, which I'm actually reading right now, which I bought randomly at Barnes & Noble because I like to read everything that Stephen King has written because I really enjoy his work. And I had not read this short story collection. I picked it up randomly one day and it just happened to have 1408 in it. I didn't realize this because I buy lots of books and put them on my bookshelf and don't read them until like years later. And I just happened to look at it when we got back from Chicago and saw that it had 1408 and immediately texted Trina and Lindsay.
Yes, she did.
And was literally texting them the picture of the like title page of 1408 and was like, oh my God, I'm reading this right now.
We'll totally watch it again with you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But I read it immediately, and I've read some other short stories in it so far. So if you want to be creeped out by just little bits of horror, Everything's Eventual by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should check it out.
It
Watch
is.
the movie.
Full show.
Watch the YouTube
And
original.
we're definitely going to go have more haunted experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're obsessed.
We are slightly obsessed.
Yeah.
All right. So what's on the Drink and Thinking Cap this week, Jess?
Okay. Everyone, it's spring. Even if it's not spring and you're part of the country and it's still snow, whatever. It's spring officially.
It's spring here.
It's spring here, kind of.
Today.
Kind of. Yeah, the sun's out, whatever. Sun's out, guns out. We're going to make some lemon champagne bites.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
It is. So this is like perfect for if you are having like a shower or a party or a brunch or any kind of thing like that. So, and it's really simple. This is actually one where I'm actually going to suggest you use Horror of Horrors, a cake mix.
What? There's nothing wrong with a cake mix.
There's not.
I love a good cake mix.
There's there's nothing wrong with a cake mix. Okay, guys, it's fine. You use a cake mix.
I
It's
use
fine.
cake mixes all the time.
Me too.
You do. It makes things simple. It's fine. So you're gonna use like a little go get you a lemon cake mix. Get like a package of some instant vanilla pudding. You get some eggs. You get some sour cream and some milk. And so you mix it all together and you put it in your little mini muffin tin.
Ooh.
And you bake it. And this is actually going to bake a lot. Like this is probably going to bake like 50 to 70 little mini muffins.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant a long time.
Oh, no. They'll bake real quick. These are going to bake in less than 10 minutes, which is why it's good to bake like for a shower. But I'm saying it's going to bake a lot of them.
Okay.
So if you're having like a shower or something like that, this is a great thing. But then you're going to make like a champagne, a lemon thing to dunk them in.
Ooh.
So they're going to bake, and then you're going to dunk them in this like champagne powdered sugar thing. So you get some powdered sugar, you get some fresh lemon zest, you get some butter, you get some lemon juice, and then you get some champagne. And you mix it up, and once your little mini muffins have cooled, you just dunk them right in the champagne lemon sugar. And they cool, and you eat them, and they're perfect. And that is your delicious spring brunch little mini muffin thing.
Sounds delicious. It's time for Drink About It.
Drink.
Did you hear that harmony?
This is the segment where we talk about the reasons we drink every week, both positive, celebratory, or event worthy. Sorry, I've drank a lot today, guys.
Really? Did you drink before we got here?
You don't say.
No, I drank a lot with you guys. here.
No. I remember us making drinks and you chugged them all.
Oh, I chugged them all.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
It was Trina.
Well, guys,
Dad, Trina's an alcoholic.
not true at all.
She had
Not
a fake
true at
ID, Dad.
I mean,
Why are you bringing that up against me, yeah?
because it's the best.
Lindsay, what are you drinking about this week?
Okay, so I'm sure everyone is feeling this, but forking allergy sinus season.
Girl.
Okay, so
Girl, you stole one of my Drink About It.
I'm sorry.
It's all about that.
So I know it's bad for everyone in the country, but Tennessee, especially Nashville, is like a basin, and it's like the pollen just stays over this bowl of more pollen.
It's like everything starts to bloom, and so it'll be like all rainy, then everything blooms, and then it'll be all rainy again. But like that little gap of time in between where everything is just full bloom,
Yeah.
it's the worst because it doesn't even look horrible outside. Like there's not like the pollen dust everywhere necessarily, but everything in bloom.
My car is green right now, actually.
Oh, yours is? Oh, mine hasn't turned green
Yeah.
yet, but
Mine still has salt on it from the snowstorm.
but my head has been like in constant headache mode for like 3 days straight, and I haven't been able to breathe, and I sneeze a lot.
So I have the worst of the worst allergies. I've had allergy shots 3 separate times, and literally the doctor wrote me a prescription that says I need to move out west. And I had him write it on a prescription sheet, and Jay laughed. So I don't take the Zyrtec pills anymore because they made me really like just not here. So I take a Zyrtec spray mist, a Flonase, and then another pill that's not supposed to be as bad. So I have all that. So Friday morning, I wake up. I have a homicide trial, guys. My right eye is swollen shut.
Oh no.
Watering uncontrollably. I have this trial. It's going to be on video, so it's going to be filmed. So I have to put on makeup.
How do you put on makeup when like one eye won't open?
Like first of all, I can't even look because I have this makeup mirror that lights up. And so I put a little bit of eyeliner on one eye. I can't put any mascara on the eye that's watering. The time I get to work, it's melted off.
No.
No.
So like I have to question this I have to question all these people. And like I'm like one eye Wanda. And I'm like, and it's like watering uncontrollably. My little assistant, who I usually don't get an assistant during one of these, but she was there because she was training another assistant. Like I gave her my car keys and my debit card. I was like, just go buy me whatever allergy medicine that you can buy me. And she did, bless her heart. Thank you, Rachel. And she did, and I took it, and it did. I don't know if it helped or not, but it continually, like, it was like literally one eye. And I feel like I did a pretty good job because people said I did, but I was like, are you sure like my watery eye wasn't a distraction?
So I have a question. Do you like go up to the judge ahead of time and you're like, hey, sorry if I'm like winking at the witness or whatever during this?
All I'm picturing is winking, so I'm glad you went there.
But
I did not this time. I had before, like if I've had a big issue, like one time I had my eyes dilated and had to wear sunglasses.
oh, you had to wear sunglasses during a trial?
In the courtroom?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because, you can't stare at bright lights. So
Did
this
they
time.
like call you superstar the entire time?
No.
Oh.
But this time, like, I felt like it was self-explanatory because my nose was running. I was sneezing. So I was just like, and so like, I literally was like, I need an eye patch. Like, but I didn't have one, and it was miserable. Like I got home, it was also burning. Like it wasn't just like watering; it was burning out of my eyes. Like I literally, if I could have, I would have like scooped out my eyeball and rinsed it off. Thankfully, I found in my cabinet before I left some Sustain eye drops that expired in 2017.
I mean, it's
But they
fine.
still work.
that I tried to use. It did not really work. But by the time I really could not see. And then I had to deal with my terrorist of a daughter.
Oh my God, that sounds like a horrible, horrible, horrible day.
And then I went
Girl.
to sleep. And the next day I woke up, it was fine.
Oh, so it just did it especially for your trial.
And my mom was like, you have an infection in your eye. I'm like, this literally happens like every so often. Like, no, it's not an infection. It's called allergies. This is your fault. You have horrible allergies. You somehow gave it to me. And this cannot, like, I do not need to go to the doctor. It will pass.
That's what I'm drinking about too this week, Lindsay.
Oh.
Because allergies suck.
they suck.
That is correct. What else are you drinking about?
Okay, so guys, this is super exciting, and I feel like a rock star. I got my first endorsement deal.
What?
What?
Yeah, so I had a sunglass company, message me on my personal Instagram page, asking me if I would try out their sunglasses.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're Sojo, Sojo. And so they sent me some sunglasses, and I absolutely love them. And they're not paying me to say this, although they did send me free sunglasses, but not to mention on the podcast, just to mention on my social media.
So that's how much she likes them, because she's mentioning them on the podcast too.
I know.
So I bought them on Amazon, and they have a bunch of different types of sunglasses. Like they have the cat eyes, they have the regular, and they have different colors, and they have different lens colors. So I got pink lenses for one of them, and it's just kind of your straight sunglasses. And they have the thinner, like things that go around your ears.
Like the metal on the end part?
Yeah. And they came in a cute little box with a cute little bag with a cute little lens cloth. And then for my others, I got the tortoiseshell cat eyes.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're probably my favorite.
They're super cute.
And so cute with my red lips because I love to wear red lips.
Okay, so she let us try these on, and
Yeah.
I I was told by Marshall that he really liked the cat eyes on me, and I do like those ones. But as far as comfort, I really love the other ones that, like, on the front side of them, they look a little bit more like your Ray-Ban style. Like, they're your traditional, like, more of the plastic, thicker rims, squared off. But I like that they're a little bit more hybrid, and they have, like, the metal off the ends because they feel more comfortable on your ears.
They're both very comfortable. Yeah. They're also very affordable, guys. So $15 to $20 a pair.
On Amazon, right?
On Amazon.
That's like nothing.
SOJO. And again, they come in their carrying case. They come with a cloth. Again, they're not paying us to say this, so I just want to let you guys know that they're not an official advertiser, but they were my personal promotion. And you know, when you do that, you just never know what you're going to get. But these are such good quality, and I love sunglasses. Love them. But it's hard for me to find some that are comfortable because they pinch my nose. Neither one of these pinch my nose, and Jess is going to make fun of how I say pinch.
I was about to say, can you please say pinch one more time?
And another thing is, so I have bought some really expensive sunglasses in the past. Like, I have bought $600 sunglasses.
My girl.
What?
Holy shnikes.
The most I've ever spent is like $50, and
Fendi.
I hated that.
So I got some Fendi sunglasses for $600 with some Swarovski crystals, and they were precious, and they like got big. They stretched out within a month.
Oh no,
a month.
Oh, see, that's horrible. I was
Goodbye.
gonna assume that you like lost them in a lake somewhere.
No.
That's what happens to all of mine.
So
that's what happened to Will's.
There's not a Fendi company in Nashville. I got them in Vegas, so I couldn't like take them back or anything like that. So I had like the sunglass place try to fix them, and they're like, we've tried to narrow them down. So I love some beautiful sunglasses, but I don't want to pay a fortune because I'm going to lose them. They're going to break. My daughter's going to chew them up. Like, I need some gorgeous sunglasses, but on a budget. And these are perfect.
I really love those tortoiseshell because I used to have some tortoiseshell.
They look really good on you too.
Thank you.
I love the cat eye shape too.
Yeah.
This is the moderate cat eye. They even have a more like dramatic cat eye, but you can also get them in different colors. So like the tortoiseshell is very, I feel like, you know, everyday-ish, but you can get them in the pink. You can get them in the black.
I do love that pink though. That's
so they have
cute.
some really fun colors and shapes that you can choose from. So definitely check those out.
I love it.
If you want some fun sunglasses on a budget.
I'm interested in the sunglasses because they're affordable in my price range, and like I mentioned previously, I lose things all the time, especially during the summer, in a lake, on a boat, in my car, all the time.
I just scratched my sunglasses actually, so I probably need to get another pair.
Yeah, I will definitely be purchasing more of these on my own dime.
Cool. Love it.
All right, Jess, what are you drinking about?
All right. So I actually just had a great movie theater experience that I am drinking about.
Oh my God. Did you like go get the butter in your hand and then go back to your seat with your fiance?
Nope.
That is not the movie theater experience that
It's
I had.
No.
No.
Line stepper.
Line stepper. Line stepper.
Lindsay, the line stepper.
Lindsay, the line stepper.
Lindsay, the line stepper.
That's what you are.
Okay.
No. So I actually, you know,
You put the butter in your mouth.
Nope. Oh, wow, you jumped across that line then.
She like leapt across that line.
Lindsay, the line leaper.
Lindsay the line leaper.
That sounds better, actually, though.
Okay.
Wow.
Triple L in the house.
Triple L. Okay, look and listen. We already talked about that we sometimes like scary and suspenseful movies here.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I know Lindsay likes that sometimes.
Yep. I love it.
So I actually went and saw the new Jordan Peele movie, Us.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone knows Get Out. Did anybody see Get Out?
Yes.
Here?
Yep. It was so good.
So Get Out was so good. So I went and saw Us, which is supposed to be even scarier and more suspenseful.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so Us, let me just give you a quick, going to try not to spoil it very much, but Us is about a family who goes to a beach house. This is very minimal spoiling. And they see a family who looks like themselves. and that family kind of invades their beach house. And that is the most minimal spoiling I can do.
Like clones?
Wow. That's
Yes,
crazy.
like clones.
That's
Like
crazy.
the most minimal spoiling I can do. So much more is in depth that happens.
But it was good.
Oh,
Worth seeing.
it was so good. But let me tell you why it was so good seeing it in the theater. Because I went and saw it in a pretty good, like, on a Wednesday night at a local theater. And there were other people there. And literally, when the clone family showed up, the main character literally saw the clone family. She saw herself and she was just like, no. That's what she said. That's literally what she said. And that's what I was saying. I was like, and that's what she said. And that's what everyone else in the theater was saying. And so I haven't talked out loud in a theater like that in a long time, where I've been very vocal and been like, no, and like been like, girl, no, don't do that. Or been like, no, what are you doing? Like, I haven't had an experience in the theater where I've been very vocal and been like, you know what I mean? Where I've actually talked and had fun experiencing the movie, where I've been able to talk out loud to the characters and felt comfortable screaming out loud at the theater. But everyone in that theater was doing that. And it was very enjoyable to experience that with everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a fun movie to do that.
I've heard great things about it.
I've heard good things about it.
It was so enjoyable, and it was just, I'm telling you, it fine if you really have to wait to DVD or streaming to do that, whatever. But it's such a much more enjoyable movie to see it in a crowded theater. It was so good. Like, it was such a good theater experience, and it was such a good movie.
Have you seen Dumbo?
No.
Me either, but I want to see it.
I'm not sure about Dumbo.
Really?
It wasn't my favorite animated Disney movie. I mean, it looks okay, but
The original wasn't your favorite.
no,
but
yeah,
you
the
haven't
original.
seen the new
I
one.
haven't seen the new one,
Oh, okay.
so
But that is pretty cool about that other movie. I mean,
Yeah,
I actually picture you in the theater being all, no, girl, no,
Yeah.
don't go in there.
Seriously, there were people who were just yelling at the screen, but like in a good way. Like, we were all having an enjoyable movie theater experience together. So I highly recommend go see us and go see it in the theater together. It was just like a good drink about it. The only thing I was missing was having an actual drink in my hand.
Alrighty, so I got another drink about it. This last week has been very tiring, but so much fun. So I'm drinking this is like an odd drink about it, I have to say. Okay. As many of you know, last year, like, I switched jobs, and at the very end of my last job, I worked a songwriting festival. This was like the most stressful week of the entire time I was there. Every year, this was the most stressful week because we put on a seminar for 2 days. I put on 2 days of training, and then on top of that, we did 5 days of 100 shows for the songwriting festival. 100 shows. I mean, it was a very stressful week.
And you didn't even ask me one time to talk or sing.
I didn't have any choice in that, yo.
Okay.
So, anyways, last year I talked about it, and it was because it was like literally my last week at this job. Like, the festival ends on Saturday, and it was a really awkward time to quit because my last week would have technically been that Friday, but the festival's going on. So I worked through the Saturday in the festival, and then I came back in on Monday, and Monday was my last day. And then I started my new job. So this year, it was kind of interesting. This was my first year coming back, like, as a part of the festival, like going to the festival, but just as a patron, because I always loved the festival. It's a great songwriting festival. So I have been exhausted all week because I've been going to all of these shows, but it's been amazing because what's wonderful is, one, I can drink at all the shows.
Yes.
Because they didn't allow that.
What?
Yeah.
And it's
That's dumb.
It's not a matter of like, oh, I want to drink a bunch of stuff just because I can. But part of me is like, I want to have a glass of wine at every show just to prove like I can be a responsible adult and drink a glass of wine at a show. Because they had very, very strict rules. Now, at any time there's a company rule like that at any company, you know it's because it was instated because one person took way too much advantage of it.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks, person. That
So-
was probably me.
That one person ruined it for everyone who worked there.
I'm totally that person. I cannot relate.
It's like everyone's been that person probably, but like it kind of ruined it for all the staff because we worked so hard that week, and all the only way to make up for it is like the last night all the staff meets together after the last show and goes and grabs a drink. But you're talking at that point, they've put in over like 12 to 16 hour days for like 5 or 6 days straight, plus the weeks leading up to it. You're prepping all the time. And so it's like you're exhausted on that last night. So to be rewarded with like one to two free drinks at a bar is kind of like not enough.
Right. You're like, this is my thank you.
This is my thank you. I mean, granted, it was nice to kind of like have that conclusion of the week, like to say, cheers, we finished it, we made it through, but it just wasn't quite enough. But like, so anyways, from my perspective, that was a win for the week because I got to go. I met up with coworkers who still work the festival. I met up with past coworkers who used to work for it that don't any longer. And we got to all kind of bond over that. And that was actually a lot of fun because it was like, I got to experience it from just a regular attendee perspective and someone in the music industry still. And then also from the perspective of like, oh, I used to work this. So I know the ins and outs and I respect the people and I understand what they used to do. And I'm sorry, Charlie really feels strongly about this and he feels like he must insert his opinion on this
Do you hear a pussy?
Welcome to the Champagne Cat Cafe.
Woo!
So yeah, that was one of my big drink about it's for the week because I'm exhausted, but my soul is filled with amazing songwriter goodness.
Yeah, not mine.
If you look at the under the music, under my favorites on my personal Instagram, which is at Trina, that's TRITRITRINA. Go follow that because I post a lot about the shows that I go to. If you want to discover some new amazing songwriters and hear some good new songs, I posted a lot of videos from the shows I went to this week.
You did. I had the sound off though.
You should always turn the sound on. God. Jeez, that's so mean.
But I feel like you would love me because I feel like I'm being reintroduced to music because we're starting to watch American Idol again.
That's not the same.
That's not the same thing.
Okay, but it is getting me back into music.
But that's not the same.
There's some really good people in there.
Those are amateur people trying to make it. Not okay. They're good, talented people trying to make it. Okay, I shouldn't say that.
Amazing.
Amateur, but you need to listen to good new music that's like out there to be discovered. That people are putting their heart and soul in.
Yeah. That's the same people.
No, those are singers singing songs of other people.
No, some people sang their own songs. It was really good.
I don't know what
they're letting more creative. I feel like because they started back, they're letting more creative people come in that sing their own songs. Like one guy's like, I am not fit for the show. Like this is not my genre. Like I don't do pop or popular music. And they were pretty much like, you're gonna win.
I hope so.
Original song.
I love those original songwriters though. All right, so what else are you drinking about this week, Lindsay?
You?
Me?
Yeah. So today, Jess can tell you right that you have backhanded complimented me all day.
Okay, but
yeah.
Was it intentional?
Yes.
No, it was
not.
Was it not? It was not intentional. It was never intentional. I thought I was complimenting you, but I was backhand complimenting you, but not meaning to backhand compliment you.
Yeah.
I've drank since then, okay?
But it's been like time after time.
Time after time.
But I'm on no allergy medication, so my brain is blocked. I've drank alcohol. I've had very minimal sleep because I've been at a songwriter festival all week. I'm just saying, this is me. This is what you're getting this week.
Okay. Okay.
I got a lot of rolled eyes right now, so I feel like that's not a good enough excuse. I'm sorry. I'm just going to atone for my punishment here and like what I should take as my punishment. I'm sorry.
Even your husband called you out at one point.
I didn't mean to. Okay. I meant to imply that you're smart all the time.
She's like, what did you say?
No, okay.
One of the big time. The big time.
Okay. She said, I'm smarter than I look. And I said, you're smarter than you look all the time. I meant to say, you look smart all the time. That's what I meant to say.
Like she said, oh, you're just really pretty. And that means you're not smart? Or,
I meant to say you're smart all the time, not that
I don't know. I don't know how to take it, guys. How should I take that?
It was meant to be like, you look pretty and you're smart all the time. I was not meaning it to mean like you look smart all the time, but like I don't know what I meant.
Okay, here's how I took it. I am so gorgeous that I can't be smart.
I'm being in Switzerland right now.
Okay, I know that's not true, but that's how I'm gonna take it because that makes me feel good because I'm like 8 drinks in and I want to feel pretty.
I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. Feel like this is our musical episode.
I like it. Okay, so I have another drink about it.
Every good show has a musial episode, so I feel like one day it's gonna happen.
know it.
Well, I sing a lot and I feel like you cut it out. That's another backhanded compliment.
Snap crackle.
I mean, God, all about attacking me today now.
Oh, I know. Sorry. You've been attacking me. Whatever. Okay. So I have another drink about it, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys know that I had a baby a year ago.
Yes.
And guess how many days that I have gotten to sleep in?
How many?
1
Only one?
a day. A day.
You've
The whole year.
is the whole year.
Okay, so I might have gotten to sleep in a day if like my mom or Jay's mom had taken Rory for the weekend. But if we've had Rory, my daughter, I have gotten to sleep in one of those days and I remember it because my husband told me how I slept in the whole day.
Uh-huh.
So guess how many days my husband has slept in?
How many?
So every weekend times 2 because it's Saturday and Sunday except for 1 day.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
So I feel like we should do a mom union strike and we should quit waking up on the weekends and we should make the daddies get up with their babies.
Totally.
I agree to that, and I'm just saying, in my case, I just think that my husband should get up with the cats when they start being a-holes.
Oh.
Yeah, this is not just for regular babies, it's for fur babies.
Fur babies too.
As you hear, I've had a cat meowing in the background, which now I'm holding.
Like a baby.
Like a baby, because that's what he likes to be held like.
I'm taking that baby.
But that's what I'm drinking about too this week. I'm gonna ping off of yours and go into mine. And I'm drinking about the fact that my cats can be a-holes. My cats, and I have a lot of them because we have a
How many do you have, Trina?
Let's not go there.
How many kitties?
It's a champagne cat cafe.
How many pussies are in this house?
So many.
He looks like a sweet baby.
He's a sweet
does.
baby sometimes, but he likes to
shall take
meow a
him
lot.
home.
And so we have a new transitioning gato. And he is causing a little bit of an uproar because one, he likes to sing a lot, and that's what we are referring to it as now. Is he sings a lot?
Oh, he's singing on our musical episode.
He's singing on the musical episode, and so in the morning we decided that his meows are, this is a song for my people are listening as I meow meow meow.
That's what it is.
And anyways, but the other cats, so they're in that period of transition, and since he's still being introduced to the other cats, they like to hiss at him when he comes in within like a 3 to 5 foot radius of them. Some of them are down to like a 1 foot radius, but it's like a combination of him coming in and going meow, and the other one's going
Oh.
Charlie.
and because of that, I haven't slept a lot in
Right.
like a week.
But what's the fur baby's name? Full name?
This is Charleston Charlie Pearl.
The third.
So
Oh.
the nickname is Char Char Pearl.
That's a very southern name, I feel like.
Yeah.
His overall name is Charlie.
I feel like he is like the Earl of Essence.
The Earl of Pearl?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, the Earl of Pearl.
Pearl. He was this cat is a special cat. He was tossed out by some neighbors down the street, and the kids came by the other day and told us that his original name was Pearl. That was before they discovered he was a boy, because he's a very pearly blonde cat. And eventually, after taking him in on a few really, really cold nights, and after he'd been attacked by a few animals, we got him fixed, and now he's just become a permanent part of the family. The other cats are slowly, like I said, bonding with him. But so yeah, right now my cats are a-holes, and I'm dealing with Char Char Pearl,
Char Char
And
Pearl
Char
the
Char
third.
Pearl.
a lack of sleep, and all of that. And if you hear meowing in the background, it's Char Char
It's
Pearl.
Char Char Pearl. He's singing.
Which I'm sure you
Okay.
will love.
So I have to drink about it because I had the craziest dream last night.
What was that?
Okay, guys. So after speaking to my husband for what seemed like a short amount of time in my dream, he allowed me to go on The Bachelor.
What?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, it's only because our podcast needed more Instagram followers.
Oh, that's what it was?
Okay,
Yeah.
I approve of this change.
Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable reason.
Right. And so I got down to the top 4, which is hometown dates. But somehow we didn't make it to my hometown, thank God.
I mean, as we just talked about, small towns.
Exactly. But then when I got off and went home, he was mad at me for going on. And I even kissed the Bachelor, which there were 2 on this season because it was like a weird season that they've
You have
never.
a really weird dream.
You do.
Okay. So, like a week ago, you guys, I had a dream that that green beans were coming out of my nipples.
What?
Like, this is not a joke. This was serious, and I woke up freaking out because they were also coming out of Jay's nipples, my husband, and like it was just like green beans just coming out. Like I feel like I have like a vegetable deficiency or something.
Is this a new superpower that you just
I
tell
feel
us
like
about?
you just have a weird one of having things come out of your nipples. Because last time we were talking about champagne coming out of your
All right, but
nipples.
that was our superpower.
But now it's
this
green
was
beans.
a legitimate. But you know, green beans are kind of thick, so it wasn't very comfortable
Ew.
in my dream.
I don't know about this.
Okay,
Very odd.
I have weird dreams. Okay.
Okay.
You do. You have very, 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 very
So,
weird dreams.
my superpower is either champagne coming out of the nipples or green beans.
Let's go with
Take your
champagne.
pick.
Let's go with champagne. Okay, friends. I know we are all drinking about this one. And I know listeners, I know y'all are drinking about this too.
Oh, are we?
Yes. Because you
Okay.
know what it is? It's
Yeah.
forking tax season.
Oh, tax season is the worst.
Oh my God, we're working on our 2017s right now.
We're filing an extension because we have no time between now and then. Now that I have a friend coming to visit.
I haven't done mine yet. Is what I haven't.
Well, I think I sent in most of our 2018, but we're still working on 2017.
I didn't know you could still be working on past years.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. If you have your own business, you can.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is.
The government's okay with that?
I mean,
they fine you for
yeah.
if you owe, but yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a lot.
Okay.
Taxes are confusing and they suck.
I'm usually
They're
really
horrible.
good about usually I do mine in like February, but this year I just keep delaying because I just use TurboTax. But like I have like some freelance work I got to put in there, and I got to do that.
It's
Freelance
harder.
is the worst.
I know.
It's harder if you have your own business, so you have your own stuff like you have to figure out and then we're still doing 2017, so when my husband went to pull his bank records, they're like, oh, it's too old, you have to specially order them
From 2 years ago?
Oh God.
yeah, because Lord forbid they have that on their website.
From 2 years ago.
Ugh, that's the worst.
Well,
That sucks.
Yeah, I just need to like get that going, but like I feel like my schedule is always so full, and so I'm like because I have like current freelance work I'm doing and current events I'm going to.
Well, it'll teach you things that you needed to learn for this year for when you do your taxes next year.
I know, but I mean, like I feel
Will
like I'm too busy to sit down and actually do my taxes.
We have an accountant, and I just send his name is William Wallace,
William Wallace.
Well,
like from Braveheart.
we have an accountant that does our taxes, but we still have to like go through and like we do all the pre-work where we pull and highlight everything and like calculate our deductions and stuff. So I've still got to do all that, and so does Marshall, and it's going to take forever, and I don't want to do it because it's going to take like 2 days.
Yeah. I just know I need to sit down and do all that business, and I don't want to do it. I just need to sit down and do it.
Taxes.
Boo taxes.
We're gonna start our own State of the Union.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Taxation, no taxes except to us. If
Let's
you drink
just
champagne,
lobby
you
for no taxes. There you go.
whatever.
Was that already a thing?
I don't know.
Our roads aren't very great, so I feel like we don't need to pay taxes.
Okay, sure.
Or we need to pay more, and they need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, we just need to pay. We just need to say more champagne.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what? That leads into my final drink about it.
Okay,
What?
let's get it. Get it, girl.
Get it, girl.
And I slightly think we are to blame for this.
No, not
us?
true.
Us
I never blame
personally?
you.
Sadly, I do think that we are part of this.
Uh-oh.
The price of champagne has gone up quite a bit.
What?
You're welcome, champagne companies. I'm sorry, champagne drinkers.
I'm sorry to all you champagne drinkers. And I don't know about it in every area, but in Nashville especially. So I went to Walmart last weekend on like a champagne run because I was getting ready to go to a birthday brunch the next day, and we needed a champagne for it. So I stopped off to buy a bottle of champagne. And usually when I'm going to buy for like a group event like that, I buy one that like is a little bit cheaper and that you can share with other people. So like your average is usually like the Andre bottle. What do you think?
You're going to mix it.
Oh, what do you think Andre is usually going to cost you?
$8 to $10.
No, cheaper than that.
I don't know.
What is it usually for you? Like,
Andre is usually like 5 to 6.
yeah. At one point it was 4 to 6.
Yes, it
like,
was.
You can find some shops
Yes, you
for like
could.
$4.
Yes.
And
$4.99. Andre used to be $4.99.
Never more than like $6.
Truth.
$9.99 at Walmart.
Shut the mouth.
Not kidding you.
Wow.
At Walmart. Everything.
For a regular size bottle?
Every champagne
mini
bottle,
bottle.
starting with Andre, going up was $9.99 or higher. There was nothing under $10 other than like the $9.99. Like there was nothing under $9.99 at Walmart. And they now, granted, they don't have a huge selection. Some like liquor stores might have more selection, so there might be a little bit better like pricing. Same with like Kroger. They might still have it for like $7.99 or $8.99. But at Walmart,
Andre was $9.99.
Andre was $9.99. I'm not kidding you.
And if you're buying a bottle you know people are going to be mixing stuff with, like you don't want to get your pricier.
Champagne way drinkers, don't go to Forkin' Walmart.
Right? I was so
Fork,
shocked
Wally,
about
Watton,
that.
Watton,
I get
Watton.
like cost and demand. Like we're obviously part of the champagne movement that's happening in the world.
Yeah.
And because that's not just our local Walmart. They've got to raise that at a lot of them. But like they raised the prices quite a bit to a point that I was just like in shock. So if you've noticed that your prices on champagne are going up in your area, do you feel like you're a part of that? You should let us know at thechampagneway.com because we're curious about this. I think we need to do a study on the demand and like the cost.
Is that the grocery store thing?
It wasn't like the Walmart grocery store. It was like the Walmart superstore. I went to the superstore.
But you have to think, how I know in Nashville, it used to only be available at liquor stores, and now it expanded to grocery stores / Walmart.
And
areas.
on Sundays.
And on Sundays. So is that type of thing, that availability? Or, yes, please, Champagne Way listeners, please let us know what your price point is. We're real curious. What is your Andre available at? What is your Andre starting point available at different locations? We're real curious.
Because, I think Andre's a good, like, base price to start at. Like, that's your go-to. That's my go-to, at least. When I'm going to big events that, again, people are going to be mixing. It's going to be a mimosa bar. Andre's great for that. It's a great filler for your mimosas. It's a great filler for these kind of parties. And when I saw it for, like, almost double the price of what I'm used to paying, I was in shock. So I'm just curious about all of our listeners and what their price range is.
Let's talk about this.
So message us at the Champagne Way because I'm super curious about this.
Hey friends, so we have added a new segment to the Champagne Way podcast. It's called Dear Bubbles. And we completely ripped this off Not Your Brother's podcast. We love you guys.
We loved the ending of theirs where they had like people write in and like ask a question. People and like one of their hosts gives an advice. So we decided we're going to get drunk and give people advice.
And it's obviously going to be true to the heart because we're going to be wasted while we give it.
So it's all truth.
It's all honest.
It's all honest truth.
Unfiltered honesty.
And you get all three of us. And I feel like we're at all three different spectrums of something.
All of
or,
it.
Not our opinion or whatever.
So it's not, you're getting amazing advice. We haven't even done it yet, but I just feel like you're gonna get that.
You're gonna get good advice, and Trina's gonna add it to the website, so you could just submit there. You can submit on our Instagram or Facebook page, and we will candidly answer your questions
about whatever,
about what you should do in a situation or how you should feel or whatevs. Name your price. We got you, boo.
Well, the price is free, but it's like Dear Jane columns, except for we're going to be. I'm sorry, Dear Abby columns, but we're going to. We don't have a column. We have a podcast, so it's going to be like that. You'll submit online to us. You can create a fake name. You don't have to give your real name.
Nope.
Change names in the stories, whatever, but we're going to address based off of that. So submit. We're really excited to start this. We'll start it as soon as we start getting some submissions from people, but we're really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
We can't wait.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, what we may or may not talk about on the next episode of the Champagne Way. Are we going to start a small town crime podcast based off of Lindsay's hometown? Maybe, maybe not. Will Lindsay ever forgive me for all the perceived so-called backhanded compliments? Because I swear I haven't been trying to make them. I've just been really off this week, guys. I've just been really
speaking her truths.
really off, guys. And will you all submit to our new our new Dear Bubbles.
Dear Bubbles.
Podcast
Trina said
segment.
manure.
Please submit to Dear Bubbles. We'll fix your life
We are going
Manure.
to fix your life.
with champagne.
Manure.
So
Manure.
please submit to us at thechampagneway.com. Look for Dear Bubbles under the
Manure.
menu.
Thank you, everyone. We would like a special shout out to the Second Sound Productions who do our podcast. And if you would like to start a podcast, you should probably reach out to them because it's really hard and complicated, and you would not be voted number 2 podcast in Nashville without them. So we would like to thank Marshmallow and Trina Pad for that, and also our lovely host, Lindsay Luhu, Jessica Just Jam, and Trina Jenica. It didn't rhyme, sorry. And anywho, thank you Sojo Sunglasses for giving Lindsay the opportunity to wear your sunglasses. We love them.
Send them to the rest of us.
Please.
Yeah. And all the other people who submitted in the Bubbly bracket. Thank you for getting us shamered on a Sunday. We love you. Kiss, kiss. Goodbye.
Please follow us at thechampagneway.com on Instagram and on Facebook. Also, like, listen, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, on SoundCloud, on our website, and on Spotify. We love you. Thank you.